Hello guys, welcome to Talking News, Chasing a Murderer. Please subscribe and like right now so you don't forget. Also, hit those notification bells if you want notification whenever we have a new upload. Now the story I'm covering today, I'm doing it on the go. And guys, so that means environmental change. We're doing it on the Vallow case, which we've had a lot of requests on. Now this case really gets to a lot of us because we know there are two kids still missing, Tylee Ryan and Joshua Vallow. And so where do we start on this case because it's so complicated? I decided I wanted to start with, because she cracks me up. And that is Miss Grace. I don't watch her show, but occasionally when I'm doing research and going through stuff, I'll see her pop up in a video or two. And she sometimes brings humor to something that isn't so funny at all. But here you go. Watch this clip. Take it away, Nancy Grace.
It's a confusing case. Help us out. Where are we?
This is a toughie. Where should I start? Number one, I started at the divorce allegations. According to her now dead husband, he says that not only did she claim she was a god, that's with a little g, but that she had lived many other lives on other planets, and she's coming now to lead the 144,000 people worldwide. I guess that counts us out.
Okay, so who is Nancy Grace talking about? She's talking about Lori Vallow. She is a mother that has been married 5 times. She's also in another branch of the LDS that they are calling a cult, and they're calling a Doomsday cult. And everyone involved in their lives, it just seems that there's a lot of them. They are just disappearing, or they're dropping, they're dying. Okay, so she is actually married right now to Chad Daybell, which he is the leader of this cult, is what we're hearing. He's written multiple books. They're saying that end of days are here. We're going through an apocalypse. Anyways, these two got married November 5th of last year, and this is approximately 2 weeks after both of their spouses they died. So Lori's spouse, Charles, died. We'll go over more of this later. I'm just kind of giving you a quick cap here. He was killed by Lori's brother, Alex, and Alex said he shot Charles in self-defense. And then Chad's wife was found dead one morning. And right now, investigators are looking into that death a little bit deeper since, this story is so crazy. It gives you an idea of what's going on. And like I said, we'll speak more on this in a little bit. But let's continue with what Nancy Grace has to say. Okay, guys, I almost forgot. I want to mention to you that Lori believes that she is a god, like Nancy Grace mentioned earlier. She believes that she is like a prophet. So now I'll continue the video.
Now to lead the 144,000 people worldwide, I guess that counts us out, to heaven, the New Jerusalem, after the Great War. And if he stood in her way, she'd kill him. That's in the divorce papers. Let's just start with that. And now he's dead. That's not a coincidence. What I'm worried about right now are these 2 children, JJ and Tylee. JJ last seen, we think, sometimes around September. And interesting, Tylee, the 17-year-old little girl, was last seen at Yellowstone Park with her mother. There's a photograph. Then she's never seen again. Latest, Mommy is in court in Hawaii fighting extradition, which I don't get. Extradition is very simple. It's, are you Lori Vallow, and do you have a legitimate arrest warrant? Well, I've got the arrest warrant in my hand right here, so it's legitimate, and that's Lori Vallow, but she's going to contest it, which could take, weeks.
Okay, so you hear what Nancy Grace has to say. She considers herself a god, and Nancy Grace makes sure that she says little g. It was hard not to smile on that one because you can tell that everybody, they're on to Lori. They understand that everyone around her, they're disappearing. They're dying. And what I want to do is kind of take you over a timeline, because this case has so much information. Like everybody, we don't know where to start. So I decided we would kind of do a thing where we go over the timeline. I guess we can start at November of 2019, where we can get an idea of what's going on with the story. So Lori Vallow fled Idaho in November with her new and fifth husband, Chad Daybell. So why did they flee, right? Well, family members called in to the police office and asked them to do a well check for the children. Those children were Joshua, or JJ Vallow. He's 7 years old and he is autistic, and as well as the 17-year-old Tylee Ryan, and that's Lori's oldest child. According to what we know right now, those children are originally from Arizona, but they were last seen in September. So after the police do a welfare check, they ask where the children are, the couple disappears. So here we are, February 25th, 2020, and it's nearly 5 months. No signs of the kids. Okay, guys, just a quick cap of who Charles Vallow is. So Charles Vallow is the one who adopted Joshua, which is known as JJ. He filed for divorce from Lori Vallow in February of 2019 in court records. And Arizona shows some very disturbing information. When Charles filed for divorce, he said that he had genuine fear for his life. Under his attorney's advice, he obtained an order of protection against Lori Vallow. And according to those papers that are available to the public right now, his Charles' attorney says that Vallow's main concern throughout this entire divorce was ensuring that JJ was safe. He wanted to make sure that he was safe and cared for. But because he had not adopted Tylee, which is the oldest child, the 17-year-old, he couldn't really help her. He was not the biological father of this child. So really all he could do was, fight for JJ the best he could. Charles Vallow was very concerned, because JJ had special needs. According to this article, Charles Vallow's fear for his life appeared to stem from the statements that Lori Vallow made after meeting Chad Daybell, who is the author of several religious-themed fiction books. So according to several people, Lori Vallow, she actually claimed to be a god. So a god assigned to carry out the work of 144,000 at the Christ's second coming, July 2020. So according to this, he didn't want anything to do with her family because she had more important mission to do. And this is the mission that the cult is involved with. They're all saying, there's a doomsday, an apocalypse on its way. Basically, Lori thought that she was the chosen one to carry out this assignment or mission, whatever she wants to call it. And this article was coming from ABC News. Now, we got some information coming from Kay Woodcock, which is Charles Vallow's sister. She told the Associated Press that her brother was highly concerned about his wife. And it's mostly to do with the cult that she's involved in. Okay, so this is Woodcock's description. So appearing to reference, preparing the people in an organization that preaches about preparing citizens of this earth for a second coming of Christ. So now we have a little bit more information of which way, Lori Vallow, her thought process is, at least before I start this timeline. So on July 11th, Lori Vallow's husband, Charles Vallow, was killed by her brother, Alex Cox, in Arizona. It was actually precisely July 11th of 2019. He called 911 to report that he had just killed Charles Vallow, JJ's father, and Lori's estranged husband. And let me tell you, the media at that time didn't have much, but later, they started getting very unsettling details about this 911 call and everything that was attached to this incident. So I do want to play you a clip from that 911 call, guys. So also in this clip, it's going to tell you a little bit about how Lori reacted when this all happened, which she acted very strange. She didn't seem to have a care in the world that her estranged husband had just been shot. So one of the reporters that are covering this case, her name's Gretchen. She's my go-to person. I like the way she's been covering the story. But anyways, here's a clip.
Mark and Kim, as we've reported, Lori's brother Alex Cox shot and killed Charles this past July in Arizona. But now new details about what else Lori did that day and how she reacted is raising some red flags.
Is he hurt or is he alive? Yeah, there's blood. He's not moving.
On July 11th, 2019, Lori Vallow's brother Alex Cox called 911 to report he had just killed Charles Vallow, JJ's father and Lori's estranged husband.
I got in a fight with my brother-in-law and I shot him in self-defense. He came at me with a bat.
Lori, JJ, and Tylee were all home at the time. As police questioned Lori, she didn't appear rattled or upset, even laughing at one point.
How long have you lived here?
Like 3 weeks.
Oh, geez. Yeah, okay.
That's why the neighbors don't know us.
Gotcha.
Like, hi, neighbor, sorry.
Arizona detectives say throughout Lori's interview with police, she wasn't fazed.
It was kind of like a happy-go-lucky. She was just kind of smiling. She was talking about how Tylee was going to go to BYU, Hawaii, and it was just a very, very nonchalant. You would have thought that we just, recovered their stolen vehicle.
Cox is shown here dabbing at a wound he says he got after Charles hit him with the bat.
It definitely didn't appear that he was struck with, an extreme amount of force to a baseball bat. Charles was a very physically fit man, and actually a former college ball player, so it didn't appear that it was a huge strike to the head.
The same day Charles was killed, neighbors say Lori threw a pool party.
Now, this horrific incident just happened. I mean, horrific. Kids seen it. There were witnesses there. A lot of people say this plays a role in the reason these kids disappear. But, here's a woman that don't seem to be affected by this whatsoever. Just goes on as if nothing ever happened. And the people around her were concerned. And here's a clip of that.
How can everyone be so calm and, seemingly so unaffected?
That's Tylee's aunt, Annie Cushing. She believes that what Lori and Cox told police was a cover-up. And because the children were witnesses, that's why they're missing.
I do wonder with Tylee if she was asked to toe the line to keep everyone out of prison.
And as Gretchen shows the world, the truth of what's really happened behind the scenes, you can see here how Lori Vallow tells Charles' sons, our children, what happened. And she did it through text message. Something so horrifying. Such devastating news. I just don't get her, but here's the rest of that interview.
The day after Charles was killed, Lori told Charles's 2 sons from a previous marriage that their father had died via text message.
And I couldn't believe.
They really couldn't believe what they were hearing. To tell something so devastating, so coldly through a text message was definitely incomprehensible. People didn't understand why Lori was being so cold. But as the story, moves forward, you can figure out pretty much why she's so cold, because she is cold. And as you can see, she just is kind of cold. But I want to go back to Alex. I wanted to show you the footage of him talking to the police, just him and nothing else. I want you to pay attention to the fact that, especially, I don't know if you guys seen the whole thing anywhere else, but in this video clip at the end, which I won't have on here either, Alex pretty much says there's a time after he shoots Charles that he goes back in the bathroom to clean himself up. That makes no sense before he calls the police. You can also see in this video where Lori Vallow drives up with her daughter, Tylee, the one that's missing right now. And I'm going to try to find that footage for you too.
What happened today? How did it get to this?
I don't know, he was enraged.
Well, what's going on? What happened?
Well, he was talking with my sister earlier.
No, what happened today, though? Like, just in the last 20 minutes.
He came at me with a bat.
Okay. Was he living here or
No.
visiting?
He came to pick up his son.
Okay, is his son inside?
No. My sister took him to school.
Okay, so it was just you at the house?
Yes.
And he came, how long, what time did he come to pick up the son?
I don't know, 20 minutes ago maybe.
Okay, so you know who he is, let him in?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think they were talking earlier, then she left, and then he got into it with me.
Like what? What do you mean?
I don't know, he was accusing me of...
Come on over here. That truck's gonna be really loud. What was he accusing you of?
He was just yelling at me.
Okay, what was he yelling at you about?
About my sister because I'd broken up the tussle with them earlier. And he told me not to interfere anymore with them or I'd pay. And he came at me with a bat.
Okay, so he showed up in the house with a bat in his hand?
No.
Okay, so...
There was a scuffle earlier with my sister and my niece. My niece got involved.
About earlier meaning earlier this week? Earlier this morning?
Just this morning, before they left.
Before your wife left?
My sister.
Before your sister left?
Yeah.
Okay, who lives here with you?
Nobody. I don't live here. My sister lives here and my niece lives here.
And you're just visiting?
I was visiting for the night.
Okay, so you're over here visiting your sister and your niece?
Yes.
Okay, and there was a tussle between your sister and her husband?
Yes.
And does the husband live here or no?
No.
Okay.
He lives in Houston.
Okay, is he an ex-husband or just current husband?
They're working on that.
Gotcha. So at some point earlier today, they get into some type of domestic?
Yeah, just this morning, then they left, and then he came at me.
They left meaning who? Both of parties?
Yeah, my sister took my niece and my nephew.
Okay, so they left.
Create some space for him, and then he came at me.
Okay, but did he leave also?
No.
He stayed here?
He stayed.
So you guys are kind of talking in between or what? Who are you? Who are you? No, just go back. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So it's just you and your brother-in-law?
Yes.
Okay. And kind of go through it.
So,
say something like, hey, don't touch my sister, or...
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And then he picked up the bat.
Where was the bat at?
In the living room.
Okay.
The guy inside me?
No, I haven't got it. Charles is the husband of the occupants here. But I guess he lives where?
Houston.
You know his date of birth?
No.
From Houston?
Yeah.
Is this vehicle here? How did he get here?
Is it here from Texas? No, that's my sister's car. I think he came in a rental car. I think my sister's in it.
You think your sister's in the rental car? Okay. So you get in an argument? What is it over?
Well, it was over my sister. He was getting physical with her, and so my niece came out with her bat, and then he took the bat away from her.
Wait a minute, I thought you said your niece left.
She did, but this is before.
Okay, so before your sister and your niece left,
Yeah.
at some point your sister and her husband are arguing,
Yes.
verbal argument, and then your niece pulls out a bat?
Well, it wasn't verbal. He was getting close, and she came out to defend my sister with her bat.
Your niece?
Yes.
Okay.
And then she poked at him, and then he took it away.
Okay.
And then I stepped in and told them they needed to separate.
Right.
So then my sister leaves with my niece.
And how long ago did they leave? It's been like an hour, 10 minutes?
20 minutes
Okay. So not terribly long.
No.
Oh, okay.
And then he's coming back at me, and he's still got the bat in his hand. I'm like, what are you doing?
And where are you at? Where are you both
in the living room.
Okay.
And then I turned around, and he hit me in the back of the head with the bat. So I went to my room and got my gun. I always carry it.
You went to your room, meaning the room you're staying in?
Yeah.
Okay, and you brought a gun with you?
Yes.
You always bring a gun?
I have a concealed carry always.
Okay.
Just to be safe.
Hi, who are you? Okay, just stand over there for just a second, guys.
And then I told him to put the bat down, and he wouldn't, and he came at me again.
And the wife just showed up as well. So you told him to put the...
Yes.
So where are you at? Where are you at now? Did you stay in your bedroom?
No.
Okay, why didn't you stay just in your bedroom, close the door? Is that something you didn't think about, or?
Didn't even occur to me.
Okay, so walk me through it. So you go back into your room.
So I just went back to the living room. I'm like, what is your problem?
With the gun in your
Yes. And I said, I want you to put that bat down. And he wouldn't do it. And he's like, and he came at me with the bat again after he'd already hit me in the head. So I shot him to stop him.
Okay, and then what happened?
That was it.
Okay. Is it Alex or Alexander? What do you go by? Do you go by Alex or Alexander?
Alexander.
Okay. Do you live
I go by
Okay, guys, and you already seen the clip of what happened afterwards. You seen where she was kind of laughing as if, you know, this wasn't a big deal. She holds a pool party. And what I want to do is continue on this timeline for you guys. So in August of 2019, Lori Vallow moves herself and her family to Idaho. I believe it's Rexburg, Idaho. In September 8th, the last time that Tylee, the 17-year-old, is seen is on a day trip to Yellowstone Park. And on September 23rd of 2019, the last sighting of JJ. And I want to run a clip for that as well.
The video shows JJ playing and then running into his mother, Lori Vallow's townhome. It's from September 17th, and JJ was last seen September 23rd at Kennedy Elementary School in Rexburg. JJ's missing sister, 17-year-old Tylee Ryan, she was last seen September 8th in Yellowstone.
So yeah, that's the last sighting of him. So on October 19th of 2019, Chad Daybell's wife, Tammy, passes away in their Idaho home. So if you're just new to the story, you should be starting to put these things together. So Lori's husband, Charles, was killed by her brother. And now the guy that Lori is seeing, Chad Daybell, his wife has also died. So on October 25th, a friend of Tylee receives a text from Tylee's phone. November 5th, approximately 2 weeks later, after Tammy has passed away, the wife of Chad marries Lori. These two had just went through one of the most devastating events that anybody could ever go through, or incidents. Yet here we are 2 weeks later, these two are getting married. This is a joyous time. And now their kids are missing as well, but nobody really realizes this as of right now. It's not until November 26th of 2019 that out-of-state relatives ask Idaho police to perform a welfare check on JJ. And this is when things start to really get heated up. So once the police come out there, they actually learn, Lori tells them that JJ Vallow is in Arizona with relatives, but police also learned that Tylee has not been seen since September. On November 27th, the police execute a search warrant at Vallow and Daybell's home. They discover that the couple have fled Idaho. At this point, police are starting to put the puzzle together, and on December 11th, Tammy Daybell's body is exhumed from the Utah cemetery. Now, what gets worse is I have the 911 on this, is the brother of Lori, the one that shot Charles Vallow. has a 911 call coming in because he's lying in the bathroom floor of his girlfriend's home. This is December 12th of 2019. Here's a clip.
I have a older male, a middle-aged male.
He is breathing?
Yes, he's breathing, but very, very highly breathing.
Okay, let me transfer the the medics. Do not hang up. Is it due to a fire and medical? What is the address of your emergency? Go over with it.
He just passed out here on my bathroom.
Okay, is he awake right now?
I think he's passed out.
Okay, you think he's unconscious?
Yes.
Okay. Is he breathing normally, like you can see his chest rising and falling? Hello?
I hope so.
I have the paramedics on the way, but I need you to try to help me with some information.
I'll try. It's just there's feces there, and I'm trying to just keep cool right now.
You said he's what?
There's feces on the ground.
Okay. I know that's gross, but if we can just go ahead and get him flat on his back, I want to make sure he's breathing, because if he's not, we're going to do a few things.
Gotcha.
Did you say he's cool, like cold?
Not breathing. No. Come upstairs, in the bathroom. We need to get him on his back.
Can you put your mom on the phone?
She's right here. You're on speaker.
Okay, ma'am, the paramedics are pulling up, but in the meantime, we need him to get flat on his back, and we need to give him chest compressions, okay?
Chest compressions. Wait. But
does she know how to do CPR?
Yes. She knows how.
Okay.
How far are you?
We're pulling up out front right now, so they're grabbing their equipment and they're coming in. Are you on the first floor or the second?
We're on the second floor.
Second floor in the bathroom?
Yes.
Okay, and the door is unlocked?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, do you see the paramedics now?
Yes.
Okay, Joseph, you did a good job. I know that was really scary, but thank you for your help, okay?
Joseph, before you hang up, I need your last name.
Joseph.
Let the paramedics do their business and tell me what your last name is.
Lopez.
Joseph, what's your last name?
Lopez.
Okay. And what's your date of birth, Joseph? Alex's last name.
So that was it was hard to hear. I really didn't run the whole thing for you guys, but you can hear, this guy is explaining what he's seen, that Alex was unconscious. He was just not doing well. We have not heard, after all this, what his cause of death is. At least I haven't. I just started on this story 2 days ago. That's a lot of information to soak in for me. But there is definitely a lot going on with this case. And, it's not hard to realize that Lori is connected to every single one of these. There's a reason why these kids are disappearing. All these people are dying off. And unfortunately, guys, I'm going to have to do a part 2 because I'm not even halfway through, really. And I've hit 30 minutes here. So there's no way that you can say that all this is just extreme coincidence. This is absolutely nuts. There is something happening within this circle, and oh my gosh, police are going to have a time trying to unravel all this. But right now, the most important part is the children are still missing. So Tylee and JJ are still missing. We need to find them. And so ultimately, this is why I'm doing this video, is because we still have missing children out there. Perhaps this will help somebody else get familiar with the story, see their faces, and maybe somebody knows something out there that might help further this investigation. So on part 2, we're going to be covering a few more clips. We're going to actually talk about a few people that are involved with this family. This includes a friend of Alex Cox, what she thinks his role in this case is. It'll also I'll introduce Lori Daybell, or Vallow's niece. Okay, guys, let's send blessings out there. Let's hope these children are found. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on part 2.